Alright, let's get into these gesture drawings. In case it doesn't make sense, I think this one's supposed to be a guy dunking a ball. So that's why he looks like, hello. I'm not sure how I say that name. Pukadomi? Hello. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Oh. If you send something, I don't think I can see it. But I'm just working on, like, practice stuff for now. Okay. That guy. Yeah. Thank you. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, eventually I wanna write stories and like draw manga, so definitely important to know how to draw people. For sure. Yeah, I'd say like you draw people so long, like you keep drawing like different gestures and like different people for so long, it's still like there's still stuff you can learn. It's like I can tell like I've gotten a lot better, but at the same time there's also a ton of stuff I'm still needing to learn and need to get better at, so that's why practicing every day is so important. tell if there's anybody over on the TikTok side of things, but if you're all watching, welcome to the stream. Just doing some basic practice today. Only got about an hour or two today to practice, then I gotta work on a couple more videos and some other stuff, but most of this was just me getting the setup figured out. I was fixing stuff for about, I want to say like an hour today, just kind of getting stuff to work, and yeah, here we are. Okay. The first like few drawings I make are always like the slowest, because I'm still like getting warmed up. Yeah, if y'all are new here, welcome. I'm just getting started with streaming, but I have been uploading pretty frequently over on TikTok and Instagram. I like to do sketches, I like to post whatever I'm working on, I like to make little videos, pretty much like art related, art adjacent, just like I want to start posting more about like tutorials and stuff like that, and like kind of like better quality content, stuff that's not just like uploading just like photos of stuff, photos of sketches or whatever I'm working on. Want to start posting more over on YouTube as well, as my YouTube kind of empty it. But yeah. Hope whoever's watching's having a good day though. If you're all just here to chill, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, that's fine. Just a time to relax, just time to chill. While I get these drawings done, get some of that rust off, and then move on to some other stuff. I like to start with gestures because they're really simple, and even if you only do a little bit every day, that's okay. Just a little bit of practice goes a long way. But yeah. I've been drawing for about, I want to say like 3, maybe like 4 years now at this point. Funny thing about practicing is that like it's not really like a linear thing. You'll have people say like, oh, I've been doing this for however many years, but you might have like a year or two where you don't really do much. You don't really like, nothing really changes too much. And then you might have a couple months where it just go crazy and you improve a lot. I'd say I'm kind of like that too. I'm just like, well, a lot of that time was kind of just like, well, I don't really see much difference even when I practice and stuff. But overall, I do see the difference. I think like, found some of my old sketchbooks recently. Like that was a trip. Just like seeing how different I would, obviously just because I wasn't as good, right? But like, you look at things entirely differently when you get good at something. There's just a lot of things you pick up on that you didn't before. And that's the cool thing about it. It's just like, you just learn, and it's not really like It's not like anything was like impossible to do. It's just that you pick up on more things and you get better at it over time. But yeah. Not really happy with these ones, but that's okay. Usually takes a couple before I get warmed up. All these new games have been coming out. Now I'm at the point where I might be seriously considering like upgrading my PC. My setup is like from 2020. Like buying like all the stuff that I bought is from then. And only now trying to run like different games and stuff is like only thing that sucks about trying to upgrade now after like having built my computer so long ago is that it's not just one part. You gotta like replace the whole thing. Not the whole thing, but like if I wanted to upgrade just like my CPU and my graphics card, I'd need to probably get a new motherboard too. So maybe not just yet, but there's gonna come a time when some new game comes out and everyone want to play it, and it's gonna be like, yeah, your computer's gonna blow up if you try to to run this. So you just gotta fork over the money to get better stuff. And yeah, that's probably coming soon, but for now, we can barely run Battlefield, so it's alright. We're big chillin'. Alright, let's see. Run out of space, any new layer? Alright, let's move this one off to the side for now. I'll just do that. Hey, how's it going, man? Hope you're having a chill evening or morning. I'm not sure if you're watching this in the evening or morning, but yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm just doing some daily practice. I try and get in at least an hour or so every day. I'm just like, you know, just kind of the boring practice. I don't really think it's boring, personally. But I know like people, when they think of practice, they're like, no, I gotta be like at least drawing like a cool character or something. But yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm probably only gonna be here like an hour or so. I got plans going on, but today was kind of just like a setup day, you know? I'm trying to get more into the streaming thing, but for now, I just spent about an hour or so getting everything set up, and figured if I'm gonna be doing my practicing, might as well just like live stream it. I know this is like there's I'd say it's like chill, you know? Just like it's chill work. Nothing too serious. Might not be the most interesting, but yeah. How do you fix art block? That's a good question. I would say that art block comes from a lot of indecision. It comes from like, oh, maybe I don't have all the right ideas, or I'm not like satisfied with those ideas, and so I don't have the same amount of confidence. So a lot of people will say the same thing, and it might sound kind of silly, but just put something down on the page, even if it's just like a line. If it's just like a line and that's all you put down on the page, go for it. Because there is genuine art block. There's days where I'm just kind of like, well, I don't have any good ideas, and I'm just sitting in front of my tablet for like an hour or two. And those are definitely days that happen. And you can't do anything about that. That's just a natural thing. But then there are days where it's kind of like, I don't really feel too confident about what I'm making. You should still make it, right? Because sometimes the idea doesn't really, what do you call it? What's the word? The idea isn't like clear until you put it down. Because then all the details and things that you're kind of overlooking, then it becomes very like clear. And then it's like, oh, I could like add these things or these details, or I can improve this. If it's that kind of thing, then you can just kind of like get started, and then we'll just get going. And then you'll that's how you fix that kind of block where it's kind of like, oh, you're just not really confident you're making something good. If it's genuine art block though, sometimes a break is good. Sometimes it's good to just take a break from trying to draw whatever you're drawing, because, you know, a lot of the time drawing is like problem solving, you know? Because there's like the what do you call it? There's the creative aspect of it, but there's also like the technical aspect. Like, how do you make it look good from like a drawing standpoint? I started digital art recently, and it's kind of hard. I get that. I get that for sure. If it helps, I'm using a I'm using an iPad because I got an iPad as a gift, and I have it set up as a third monitor. So it's technically a third monitor on my PC. And then what I do is I put like a little pencil screen. It's like a screen protector, but it's got like a rough texture to it. It's kind of like paper. I put that on the tablet so that it mimics like actual paper. And I've found that helps. I found that makes it kind of like when I'm sketching on paper, where it's just, it doesn't have that weird feeling usually when you're drawing on a tablet, and it's kind of like, oh, my pencil's gliding too much across the screen. I don't feel comfortable with this. It helps with that. So I don't know if that's something that you're using, if you're using a tablet or if you're just using like your phone or something. A lot of people use their phones nowadays. I'm honestly like really surprised, because yeah, to me that's like, I don't think I could get where I am if I just had a phone, but I know some people are like really good just with drawing on their phone, which is like, that's pretty crazy to me. Oh, for sure, yeah, you just use your tablet? Yeah, that's cool. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think most of the people I see that draw on their phones, they usually have like a much simpler art style as well, so that kind of helps. But yeah, definitely, at least not for me. Let's see. But I definitely get the struggle of trying to get adjusted to digital art. I feel much more like comfortable drawing traditionally, like on paper and stuff. Only reason I've really forced myself to really like spend a lot of time drawing digitally is because when I eventually like draw manga and stuff, I want to have those tools. I want to have those things that save time. Because, you know, there are still like some authors, like One Piece, the author of One Piece, he still draws like most of his stuff traditionally, which to me is like insane. But he's probably got a whole team of help. Yeah, me too. I got my start on drawing on paper. %100%. It is. I think it's always going to be more comfortable because unless, like I mentioned, you have the little like screen protector that mimics the feeling of paper, you're never gonna get like that kind of that same sensation drawing on a tablet as you get drawing on paper. And you miss out on a lot that way. You can get used to it, but it's just something you miss out on. Is there anything that you like to draw? Fade? Is there anything you like to draw in particular? Or are you just kind of like a bunch of everything right now? Just whatever you feel like. Time to move on to practicing how to draw clips. You know, with like a lot of other people, I feel like I started practicing like later than I wanted to. Like I started practicing like seriously like 3 or 4 years ago, and before that I had tried to improve, tried to like do what I do now. I tried to do that before. The only issue that when it comes to learning this kind of thing, the best way to learn is to start with like the fundamentals, and that applies to like a lot of other things as well, a lot of other like skills or whatever you want to learn. My issue is that all the books that I had, and I didn't think to go on YouTube and look for a tutorial. I was just thinking, oh, you know, I'm gonna find a book that'll help me learn how to draw. And all the books really taught me was that, okay, if you wanna get good, you gotta think a certain way. When in reality, it's like the basics and stuff. Like when I found the right like resources on YouTube that taught me how to do it, it was all super easy to understand. Because the way it was broken down for me was like, okay, you start with like very simple shapes that you know how to draw, and then you work up to more complicated. And that was all I needed. But all the books that I had growing up, trying to learn how to like draw, and I had the same like mindset and intention back then, but all the books I had were like, you gotta think a certain way. It takes a certain like, takes a certain thinking to become an artist. When it's like, they're not even talking about like fundamentals, construction, drawing like shapes and form and construction and stuff like that. They're not even talking about that. They're just like, okay, you gotta learn how to like look at things. I'm looking back and it's kind of ridiculous. It's like, imagine you were trying to learn how to fry an egg, and without like getting like utensils or like a pan or anything else, like the first thing the person teaching you says is like, you gotta think a certain way. You gotta think like a chef. And it's just like, it makes no sense. And that was kind of my experience. It's like a bunch of like books that I had and things that I used just weren't really helpful. And then I got burnt out. But luckily I found like the right kind of resources and stuff. So, you know, it worked out. Maybe not in the way that I'd ideally wanted to, but, you know, worked out. I can say that I've improved and that I have goals and aspirations and that I'm working towards them. So, yeah. It is not all bad. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, I would say if I had to start all over again, definitely could not have done it without YouTube. Could not have learned how to draw without YouTube. And people like overcomplicate it. They overcomplicate how much you need to know or how good you need to be in order to like just get started and get. Because honestly, I think like I was watching somebody and they put it really nicely. They said like if you have enough like skill to like write your name, like you can spell out your name and write your name on paper, you can learn how to draw. You can become a master. Because that's all the skill that you need. The rest just comes with practice. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we're basically just practicing draw clothes. Opacity, and we're gonna put a like. Now, what I like to do, I'm definitely a novice when it comes to drawing clothes, so this is kind of what I've decided to do for myself, and it helps me, might help you. But basically, you start with considering, okay, what kind of material is it? And for me, the reference I'm looking at, the guy's a leather jacket, and let's say jeans. You would want to figure out the kind of like different folds. There's only so many types of folds, and they usually stick to like a kind of design. So like leather is kind of like a thick material, so I typically do like large roundish folds. I stick to large roundish folds for leather, and it's a thick material, so there's probably not going to be a lot of like folds when it's like hanging, probably when it's like overlapping or like oversized. And then the reference I'm looking at has like the folds are kind of bunched up around the arm, so it's like a what you call like a pipe fold, where it's like draped around like an arm or a leg. Basically, the way you think about it is this is your material. This right here is the design. And this right here is the type. And the good thing about that is that when you understand those things, it becomes a lot easier to make sense of how to draw like clothes and stuff. Because really, drawing clothes is not about drawing clothes. Drawing clothes is about drawing folds. Because you could just draw a basic shirt on a guy. Like boom. He's got the shirt. But it doesn't look good. Because a shirt is not a shirt, it's the folds. So now, and I might as well just like post the photo on the canvas to make it easier. Yeah, basically, we're looking at here. Pretty like thick, heavy jacket. So probably say it hangs on the shoulders a bit. So we'll start at the shoulder. And we definitely want to show that it is a very like stiff material. Leather is usually very stiff, heavy. And so this is where we really want to sell the appearance of like what kind of material it's made of. So even as the sleeve of this leather jacket folds around the arm, there's very wide parts of the material where there's not a lot of folds, and then closer to the hand, you have a bunch of these smaller, very detailed, intricate folds. And it can be kind of tricky. It can be kind of tricky to draw. That's why you just want to take your time. Really pay attention to the way that the folds sit. And I'm not a master of this by any means. I'm still learning. But this is just what's like I've noticed and what has helped me. With understanding how to draw. Because really it doesn't need to look perfect. All you need to do is capture like what makes it look that way, you know? We're not going for perfection. We're just trying to get something that looks, you know, passable. You obviously want to like get better and like be able to draw things that look cool, but you know, you gotta start somewhere, right? Now with jeans, it's a lot simpler. Jeans typically flow down and they kind of bunch up towards the bottom. Again, following that same logic. They just take a certain shape as they overlap and fold over. Yeah, basically there is a time for things to be very detailed and intricate and really take all the details of what it is you're trying to copy in terms of like clothing. And then there's just enough to sell the idea, you know? Because that's a lot of what drawing is. You're just selling an idea to people based on certain details or how something should look. You're just trying to present it in a way that's accurate enough. Now I got the same thing, same pose, pretty much identical. We could probably move on. Move to a different. This is a good reference. Weird. All right. Drop visibility on this one. And we're gonna do the same exact thing. So, if anybody missed it, basically what I did the previous... We're drawing clothes right now, basically. So we gotta think, how do we draw clothes? And what I look at first is just what type of material is it. So this one just looks pretty thin. Thin material. That's all we need to know. What kind of folds? They're kind of like average looking, like average sized folds, but because it's like a bit oversized, like it's a dress, so it kind of like drapes a bit. So maybe they're a bit longer. And then the skirt has a weird thing going on where like it almost looks like it's just like on the sides almost. Like the sides and the middle are like two separate pieces. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just nothing out of the ordinary here. Just looks like a normal dress. So now we are just going to start drawing. I like to start with the top of the whatever clothes the person's wearing. typically your clothes, at least your shirt and things like dresses, typically hang off the shoulders. So it's a good starting point. Good to start closer to the shoulders. Yeah, I think the takeaway from this is just, if you want to get good at drawing clothes, and I say this as somebody who isn't really that good, pay attention to kind of like the common types of clothing folds, and then just like see the design. You know what I mean? Like when people draw it, they typically draw it a certain way, and then just look at that and, you know, study how they draw them. Because a lot of it is just like learning to draw things certain ways. It's not really like super exact. There are like types of folds and stuff, but when it comes to drawing them and knowing how to draw them, it really boils down to like, okay, you just gotta know. You gotta know to draw things a certain way in this situation in order to draw like a dress or draw a leather jacket or draw a t-shirt, whatever. Right, now we got pitch down. Boom, boom. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. We're actually drawing a character. Up till now we were just drawing mannequin and disembodied clothing. Oh, you're actually drawing a character. Oh man, just about wrapped up here. Yeah, today was a good day. Good drawings done. I like the way this one came out. Yeah. I'm happy with this. I'll try to get more consistent with the streaming, honestly. I just need to stick to a schedule. Now that everything's all set up, I don't have to worry too much about all the technical stuff. I can put this on. Just focus on streaming. Oh. We will end it then. 2 hour stream. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Anybody out there still watching, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chilling. I definitely want to make this a more consistent thing. At least I want to try and at least do 2 hours a day. And pretty consistently going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. My whole vision for this is that not only am I going to be doing just like random practice and stuff like that, but I'm also going to be working a lot on my stories and stuff like that, like storyboarding and inking pages and stuff like that. So I'll definitely have a lot of time where I'm just going to be drawing, and hopefully that'll be time that I can just stream and hopefully get to meet some cool people and put out some good content that people will enjoy. Yeah. Thank you all for stopping by, and hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening.